Hey everybody, it's Lyra from Lyra Gaming, and in today's Baldurs Gate 3 guide, we're going to be looking at the Arcane Trickster subclass for the Rogue. In this video, we're going to cover features at level 1 of character creation, including ability recommendations. We're going to give you a full level 2 to 12 breakdown, including all spells available as you level up. Towards the end, we're going to be giving you some general equipment recommendations, and my thoughts on multiclassing the Arcane Trickster Rogue. You can use the timestamps below to jump to areas that interest you the most. And remember, drop a like and leave a comment below with your thoughts, feedback, and questions. And now, without further ado, let's check out the Arcane Trickster Rogue. Alright guys, starting out with the Arcane Trickster Rogue at level 1, you do start out as a basic rogue because we do not get to choose a subclass till level 3. Now, in case you want to know what the Arcane Trickster Rogue is all about, basically if you've ever wanted to sprinkle a little magic, arcane magic specifically, into your rogue, this is exactly the class for you. Now, the rogue is going to have primary ability of dexterity. Saving throw proficiencies are going to be in dexterity and intelligence, and you're going to have a hit dice of 1d8 hit points. You also start with natural proficiencies with simple weapons, hand crossbows, longswords, rapiers, shortswords, and with light armor. Now, level 1, you're going to have two different actions that are unique: sneak attack melee and sneak attack range, and this just lets you do extra damage whenever you have advantage against the foe. There's millions of ways to get advantage, so this is something that's going to come in handy quite often. When it comes to ability points, I recommend doing 8 strength, 17 dexterity, 15 constitution, 8 intelligence, 16 wisdom, and 8 charisma. Now there's an asterisk that comes along with the intelligence score, and that's because I highly recommend getting a headpiece at low levels that will let you set your intelligence to 17. This will allow for you to still have really good rolls on your intelligence-based checks. Also, we want high wisdom because one of the most important skills in the game are going to be perception. And if this is going to be a rogue that finds traps and secrets and disarms things, well, you want to make sure you don't fail at finding them first. Now, the rogue gets a lot of skills that you get to be proficient in. You also get to choose 2 skills that will get you expertise. And expertise basically gives you double proficiency bonus. I highly recommend that being sleight of hand and perception, as those are going to be major aspects of being a rogue. At level 2, you're going to get 3 new actions: cunning action, hide, dash, and disengage. Now everybody gets the base actions that are named after these, but those have to be used as main actions. The rogue class gets to use them as bonus actions. So there's 2 ways to take advantage of this. Number 1, you can use, let's say, cunning action dash to dash as a bonus action, and then save your main action for attack. Or you can also, let's say you need to get really far away on a specific turn, you can do normal movement, then you can use cunning action dash to move again, and then you can use your main action for your standard dash to move a 3rd time. So this gives you a lot of flexibility in what you can do on your turn. At level 3, you're going to finally get to pick your rogue subclass, and we're going to of course pick Arcane Trickster. Right off the bat, you're going to gain 2 level 1 spell slots, and you're going to get Mage Hand Legerdamian. I do not know how to pronounce that, my apologies. But basically, when you cast Mage Hand, the special hand is invisible and can carry out additional tasks. So you can use this spell / cantrip to interact with the world. You can push things, for example. You can interact with switches, etc. It's quite useful. You're also going to get to choose 2 additional cantrips. I will go ahead and mouse over them for you so you can read them. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read the descriptions. I can highly recommend Friends. This is something, if you have this cantrip, it will activate as an option during conversations, where you can just select it and it will give you advantage on conversation checks, which is really useful. And of course, I can also recommend any of the kind of damage cantrips, so you have an option from range if you want a spell casting option. In addition to this, you get to pick and learn 2 spells across these Arcane Trickster themed options. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is quite good. It is, though, a concentration spell, so be careful for that. If you get damaged then and your concentration breaks, this could get disabled, but I like that one. And Sleep, especially at low levels, is very powerful and very effective. In addition to this, you get 1 expanded spell from the wizard line of spells, so their full spell book of level 1 options. So there are some great options here. Situationally, depending what you're looking for, Chromatic Orb is real nice. Again, I'll mouse over all of these for you. Having a familiar isn't bad either. I like the Crow that lets you blind enemies. Longstrider is also a good one. You can actually cast this. It doesn't tell you this, but you can cast it on yourself or other people as a ritual, meaning it doesn't use a spell slot. It lasts until long rest, and you can just keep recasting it on all your party members to get an extra 3 meters of movement. Again, doesn't require concentration, anything like that, so this is a very good one to have. If you were to go with a no armor build, then Mage Armor is quite solid as well. Can't go wrong with Magic Missile for a reliable range damage spell, although this probably wouldn't be my choice. Shield also defensively is good, but again, you're not going to get as many uses of this, so it's a situational defensive tool. Thunder Wave is great for decent damage and knocking things in groups off of ledges. At level 4, you're going to get to choose one more. At level 4, you're going to get another level 1 spell slot. You're also going to get to pick another spell. Again, it's based off that small list of Arcane Trickster spells. You also have the option to swap out a spell. So if you're not happy with one of the spells and you want a new one, this is how you do it. This may be more useful at higher levels. And then you do get to pick your first feat. You cannot go wrong with ability improvements. And if you're going to go with that, I would definitely get your Dexterity to 18, Constitution to 16 for starters. You're going to want to decide whether you're going to dual wield or not. If you do, then this is dual wielder is quite good. Gives you extra AC and gives you more options of what you can dual wield. So non-light weapons. In theory, if you end up falling in love with some of the damage spells that have a specific elemental type, Elemental Adept, while not the most classical option, could be decent as well. At higher levels, enemies will have more resistances, so being able to ignore resistances and do more damage with a specific type of damage, that is very, very helpful. Do note, if something is immune to type of damage, this will not help. And also Sharpshooter is really good if you are going to be using a bow still. So you're not getting any penalties for shooting upwards. And you can take a -5 penalty to your attack to do +10 damage on your shots. There are some situational options that are good, especially if you're trying to no save scum. Lucky is good. You get 3 lucky points. They can use to gain advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, or saving throws. That can be very helpful. And in the similar manner, Alert can be good too if you're trying to get the jump on enemies. +5 bonus to initiative and Can't Be Surprised. Again, if you're going to save scum, this won't be nearly as useful. At level 5, you're going to get Uncanny Dodge. So when an attack hits you, you only take half the usual damage. Very, very powerful. And you can again replace a spell if you like. At level 6, you can again replace a skill. And you can choose 2 skills that you're proficient in to get expertise in. So again, pick whatever works best for you here. At level 7, you're going to get another level 1 spell slot, and then you're going to get 2 level 2 spell slots, which is a big deal. In addition to this, you do get evasion. When a spell or effect would deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, it deals no damage, and if you succeed, and it only does half damage if you fail. So very, very good defensively. You're also gonna, in addition to being able to replace a spell, gain another spell, and these are going to be level 2 spells. Blur's very good defensively. Hold Person, very powerful. Mirror Image, also good defensively. At level 8, you're going to get to gain another expanded spell. This is a big deal because now you get access to not only all the level 1 wizard spells, but also the level 2 wizard spells. I will go ahead and mouse over the new level 2 spells you get access to. Cloud of Daggers, very powerful AoE spell. I want to point out Darkness is really good if you end up multi-classing and get Devil Sight from Warlocks, for example. Otherwise, not so good. Detect Thought is also a good one. You cast that and it gives you unique conversation options with a lot of characters. Enlarge and Reduce can be very useful as well. Flaming Sphere, very good on damage. And Misty Steps is great for mobility on the battlefield. Scorching Rays also quite powerful. You have 3 rays you get to target. They can choose the same target or up to 3 different targets. Very versatile. And then of course you get to pick a feat as well. At level 9, you get to replace a spell, and you also get Magical Ambush. While you are hidden, your targets have disadvantage of saving throws against your spells. So this is quite literally if you want to get the jump on enemies. This, especially if you multi-class with a wizard, or if you do a different setup when it comes to your stats and get your intelligence really high, 18 or 20 eventually. This especially, you can really double down on this. With that being said, even if you use the setup I have and you have 17 intelligence, if you open up with a spell, you're much more likely to make them fail their saving throw, so that, for example, they take full damage instead of half damage or no damage. All right, level 10, you're going to get... All right, level 10, you're going to get 2 more level 1 spell slots. You're going to gain another cantrip of your choice. And you're also going to get another spell of your choice. Again, it is from that more limited Arcane Trickster list though. And you are going to get a bonus feat at level 10 as well, like the other Rogue subclasses. And then level 11, you're going to get the Reliable Talent feature. When you make an ability check, with a skill that you're proficient with, the lowest result you can roll is a 10. But the main thing here is you get to pick another spell. Again, it's from the Arcane Trickster list, so it is more limited, but it does give you some options. And then finally at level 12, you're going to get to have another option to replace your spells, and finally pick your final feat. Alright, now when we talk about equipment for the Arcane Trickster, a lot of it's going to depend especially on whether you multi-class or not, I think. But at its core, you're still likely to go with Light Armour. You may end up focusing and going unarmored if you get any of the clothing-based quote-unquote armor that wizards would, for example, get, so that you get some of the secondary benefits from them. I could see that. One item that's almost mandatory is the Warped Headband of Intellect at 17, unless you want to really nerf your other skills or ability points in order to get a naturally high intelligence, which can be a bit tough. Definitely cloaks in this case, something like a Cloak of Protection, you can't go wrong, but as being very spellcaster heavy, you may want to focus on one of the cloaks that gives you additional spells or things that benefit your spells, With weapons, again, you are going to have more opportunities to damage with spells and cantrips, but chances you will also have to decide, are you going to dual wield? Are you going to use a one-handed weapon like a rapier? Again, depending on whether you're multi-class or not, and whether you have access to things like shields, that will have a big impact as well. Definitely recommend getting a good bow. Something like the Darkfire shortbow is great, gives you multiple resistances, good damage, and they have access to spell like haste. And again, with your rings and your amulets, etc., if you really want to play into that magical rogue theme, definitely try and get some good rings and amulets with extra casts of abilities like Misty Step here. So you're going to have a ton of options as you level up to find it. Just think about items that would fit a rogue / wizard, and you're going down the right path. Now, when it comes to multiclassing, the Arcane Trickster, you can definitely go down the route of the Arcane Trickster all the way down to level 12. I think a lot of people will multiclass this, especially with Wizard. You can quite literally start with this for the first 3, maybe to 5 or 6 levels, and then have a ton of levels in Rogue, and simply have way more spells, way higher level spells. So really, it's how much of a boost do you want to your casting capacity. So the most natural thing, again, is to go with an intelligence-based caster like the Wizard. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of my Arcane Trickster subclass and my trio of Rogue subclass videos. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please drop a like. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And of course, if you want to see more content from me in the future, make sure to subscribe. I greatly appreciate all your support, and I will see you guys in the next video.